As you bake and shape and knead, you'll learn this little creed. From the simplest of ingredients, what treasures can proceed? Plain and simple, simple and plain, water, salt and flour. What could be so truly mundane? What could have such power? You could hurt your head from trying to explain how we get such bread from plain and simple, simple and plain. Come watch, I'll show you. I start with the flour, I spread it in a circle, round the way my days went round when I'd work and eat and sleep and work alone. This was my life for 20 years after my mother died, free from the illness and the pain that had kept me by her side. To change my life then seemed too late, so I worked and slept and I worked and ate, and that's what I thought would be my fate, till my final hour. As colourless and circular as a circle of flour, until one day in my usual way I went to eat at the corner cafe. And there was something new there, like a gift from heaven. It seems they'd added you there, the way I add this lump of leaven. Plain and simple, flour and yeast, basic and essential, may not look like much of a feast. Ah, but what potential! There's a sweet surprise from deep within the grain, waiting to arise from plain and simple, simple and plain. Like water and salt, what could be plainer? I mix them up in this old container. And the key to adding them, they must be the perfect temperature.
Why?
Too hot or cold, and the yeast won't grow, as my father told me long ago. A secret I remember, even after all these years. The brine should be the temperature of a woman's tears.
Oh, your mother.
These are the tears I chanced to see glistening on your cheek, that made my courage rise in me, till I had to speak to you. A simple thing, but look where it led. What fast friends we fast became, all from the simple tears you shed one night over, what's his name?
It's Paul, I
Yes,
told
I know,
you.
I know, I just don't like saying his name. Plain and simple, and tried content so familiar. Who'd believe these simple things might make a feast to fill your plate with greater pleasure than you ever thought you'd gain? You may come to treasure plain and simple, simple and plain. Now this next part can be a little tricky, because the dough can get a little sticky, like our first months there in my little flat. So I add just a bit of this and that, like I brought you a dress, a doll, a cat.
And you brought me here to a world apart,
where I'll make the fresh bread,
and I'll make a fresh start.
And by now you ought to know in my heart, plain and simple,
Simple and plain,
water, salt and flour.
Mundane power.
You could hurt your head from trying to explain how we get such bread from plain and simple.
Plain and simple.
I may be simple, and I know that I'm plain, not wealthy or ambitious, but here with you it's fine with me. And when you're a baker you come to see how plain and simple can plainly be. in my oven.